Hello and welcome to my second video, and this one's for the metal detecting finds for November 2016. I've actually done a couple of video live digs so you can see the process from picking up a signal and actually locating it and retrieving the item. So I hope you find it interesting. Enjoy. And here they are, the November 2016 finds. I've included the trashy cartridges at the top because there's a little video about that, going right through the items to the oldest, which is a Roman fibula, and that dates to the 100s AD.
Okay, I'm just moving out of this leafy little area, and as I was walking out, come across a signal. It's a bit harsh, not iron, but quite harsh on the ears. So we'll see. Headphones there. It's a bit longer than I thought, so maybe it's another brass cartridge. So yes. That would explain the harsh signal over a bigger area with the field coming off. Oh well. So hang on. Ah. Yes, that would explain it even more. Two of them. And that is it. And there you go, covered up. You'd never know I've been there. And that's the way it should be. Okay. Nice signal. Something there. Something there. So that means it's within a couple of inches. Oh. Just in there. Oh, still down. Ah. What on earth is that? My special cleaning enzyme called saliva. Well, it's got a fleur de lis on, and I can see 1957, so it's recent. I don't know if that's a ring or not. Oh, it's got 1857 on the side. And across the top, B-P. So I'm going along in my own little world. Then I thought about that object I found, and I thought, oh, the penny dropped. 1857, 1957, 100 years, BP, Baden-Powell, Scout Movement. And I think it's a ring, copper. So get it cleaned up gently and see if it can be straightened out a bit. But that's quite, not old as such, but quite a nice little find.
So my thoughts just after I dug it out were correct, and it's turned out to be a copper vintage Jamboree Scouts ring. And the dates, well, the 1857 marks when General Robert Baden-Powell was born, and the 1907 was the year he started the Baden-Powell Scouts. 1957 is the Jamboree for 100 years, so this ring would have been made in the 1950s for that celebration. I found a number of pre-decimal coins this month, and I thought I'd give a few of them a mention. The first is this 1944 King George VI brass 3p piece, and those of a certain generation will know they were also called threepence or threepenny bits. What I didn't know was the flower design on the reverse side is that of a thrift plant, and this was an intentional plan of the government to try and get the message across that they were keen to get the population to start to save. I found these 3 silver coins and I decided to clean them up as best I could because I wanted to do an experiment. You numismatists will be cringing now because they don't like coins being cleaned or polished, but these coins have no real monetary value, so it doesn't matter. Certainly if I had a really nice coin, I'd be very cautious when it came to cleaning. Anyway, I gave these a good going over, and it's plain to see that the older the coin, the better the appearance when it comes to its shine. And there's a reason for this. Because before 1920, most British silver coins were sterling silver, also called 925 silver or 92.5 silver content. The other 7.5% was made up of other metals to give the coin strength, as silver is a soft metal. Then after 1920, the silver content was reduced to that of 50% silver and 50% other metals. And then after 1946, there was 0 silver content, and the coins were made entirely of copper nickel. So the oldest coin here is the 1915 George V sixpence. It's 92.5% silver and it's absolutely gleaming. The 1937 George VI shilling has only 50% silver, and even after cleaning it looks very ropey. And last is the newest coin. It's the 1948 George VI shilling. It contains no silver, it's made of copper nickel, has lost its shine completely and is irreversibly tarnished. And that's why we like to find the old silver coins.
Well, another location, and I'll tell you what I have detected. Absolutely beautiful.
When I dug this up, I thought there was a copper halfpenny, but actually it's not a coin at all, and I was surprised and a bit saddened when I cleaned it and did the research, because it's actually a death token, and it was struck to commemorate the death of Princess Charlotte of Wales. Princess Charlotte was the only child of King George IV, and she died on the 6th of November 1817 after giving birth to a stillborn son the day before. Had she lived, she would have been Queen of the United Kingdom. The obverse side of the token portrays her head with the wording HRH, the Princess Charlotte, and the reverse side portrays a central motif of a grave surmounted by a Grecian urn, sheltered by a weeping willow tree, and it bears the words, "Britannia mourns her princess dead. Died November 6, 1817, aged 21." Well, this was a really good signal, and it turned out to be 10 inches deep, but the ground was full of flint. So that made it difficult not only in digging, but also to not damage what it is you're trying to get out of the ground. Anyway, it turned out to be this lovely medieval copper alloy buckle, and it's got some nice detail on it with a rich green patina. I knew it had some real age, so I was keen to get back and check it out. It turns out that it's a Type 1B medieval buckle and dates between 1250 to 1350. And here we have another buckle, or rather a part buckle, because it's broken in half. And it's called a spectacle buckle because of its shape. And this one dates between 1350 to 1500s. This large buckle with its pitchfork style rusted steel shape is actually a Georgian period shoe buckle, and it dates to the 1700s. The face of the buckle's pewter, and that's also corroded, and it has a furry grey-white appearance. And here is a very similar buckle for comparison. Well, another day, another location. Haven't got my tripod, but going along and got the signal. Ah, no, that's unusual. I found plenty of musket balls, but that's two together as they were manufactured. Well, I've gone along and I've picked up a bit of a squeaky. I'm going to have a go.
Well, look out. Have it. Well, that, if I'm not mistaken, is part of a brooch, a Roman brooch. Wow. I don't know if I can focus in. Well, that shows that there were Romans on here. Excellent.
And yes, it's a bronze, or more commonly known as copper alloy, Roman fibula. Roman fibula are also known as Roman brooches, toga pins, and due to the shape of this one, bow fibula. At the top of the pin, the small decorative ring's broken, and it's also minus its pin. On the protruding, flattened shaft, there would have been a little curved lug at the bottom, and that's where the pin would have hooked under to keep it in place. So it's basically the forerunner of the modern safety pin, and it was both practical and decorative. This one's been dated between the early 1st to the 2nd century, so it's getting on for 2,000 years old. There were many designs of fibula, and some were extremely decorative. Most of them were made like this one of a copper alloy, some were iron, or both, and some were made of precious metals, silver, gold, and they could have been decorated with enamel, semi-precious stones, glass, coral, or bone. And obviously the precious ones and the rare ones can fetch huge sums of money. Well, that's the end of this month's video. Hopefully I'll be able to get out there and find some more items this month, so I can keep creating these videos monthly.